Hello everyone, Bob here. Today I am going to talk about Stephen King's It, the original miniseries with Tim Curry as Pennywise. This is the version of It that I grew up with. This is the how I was introduced to it. It was the first Stephen King book I ever read. So this version is the Steelbook. I'll show you kind of what it looks like. I haven't opened it. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I also own just the regular snap case, so I haven't really decided if I'm going to open it or not, so I probably won't in this video, but I'll show you the outside of the Steelbook, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the miniseries. Here is the front. It's got Pennywise looking at me. Now, there are other versions of this where it's like a side shot of Pennywise, but this is the one where he's looking straight on. I've had it for, I don't know, 3 years, but luckily it happened to be somewhere else at the time of the fire, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't really decided whether I want to open this particular disc or not. Even though the new version of it is really a lot different than this one, there is one very important similarity. The first part, mostly featuring the kids, is a lot better than the second part, which mostly features the adults. The story of it, of course, is about in Derry, Maine, an evil entity that assumes the form of an evil clown and goes by the name of Pennywise, is attacking and killing kids and feeding on their fear. And this group of kids, who become known as they call it the Losers Club, kind of group together, and they stand up to it and defeat it. Then 27 years later, it comes back, and when it comes back, all of them, well, all but one of the kids in the Losers Club, now as adults, come back to fight the evil entity that is it again, and this time kill it, or so they hope. The reason I say "or so they hope" is because it has been announced that Stephen King is tentatively working on a sequel to it. So as to whether that's the end of it or not, we'll have to get back to you on that one. Other than Tim Curry, the adult stars that played the adult versions of the Losers Club included Richard Thomas from the Waltons, Harry Anderson of Night Court fame, Tim Reed, Dennis Christopher, John Ritter, Richard Mauser, and Ed O'Toole, who would later, of course, being a big DC fan, was in Smallville. Some of the actors that played the little kids grew up to be stars in their own right. Seth Green, of course, you know him from movies he's in and the voice work he does on Family Guy and Robot Chicken. Emily Perkins is Ginger Snaps, horror films. But no, there's a lot of big names in this miniseries. Performances in this miniseries are generally really good. The one thing that I dislike about this is that it's kind of dumbed down. It was a miniseries made for ABC, so it was going to be a very watered down version of the of the novel that we got. Of course, if you want to see a more, I don't want to say more hardcore version, but a version that's a lot closer in spirit to how the book is. Of course, the newer films are the way to go on that. But from a nostalgic standpoint, this is a good miniseries to watch. There's been many afternoons that I've popped it in and spent time watching it. As far as length, I mean, it isn't any longer than there's a lot of 3-hour movies that I've watched over the years. It isn't any longer than like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or Titanic, or some of those movies that are long like that. So it isn't like watching The Stand. It's a 6-hour marathon, and it isn't like watching a lot of other um, Stephen King miniseries. But I have a lot of nostalgic memories from watching this because, like I say, I saw it at a very young age. It was my first exposure to Stephen King, um, and it was something I could watch other than Goosebumps. That was kind of horror related, and like I say, other than Stephen King, because if you saw my review from Creepshow, you know that kind of scared the ever loving out of me in parts, and this really didn't. This was, at the time, this was more my speed, but of course now I prefer the scarier stuff, but it's still a fun miniseries to watch, and I have a lot of good memories watching it. So I'm going to give this miniseries, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I recommend it, but I also am going to review the actual films that came out, It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I do like them. I will have a comparison video at some point after I review those two films. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it yet, but I will at some point. And I will talk about a lot of the differences and what I prefer about this miniseries and some of the things that I prefer about the new movies. But that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content daily. It doesn't always work that way, but that is my goal. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Just search for Bob the Film Guy. And for now, this is Bob signing off.